Hi, Tech from techno.com. I'm going to talk to you today about how to get your team to collaborate efficiently, how to build a certain level of trust and team culture within your team. Now, for those of you who've been reading my blog posts and watching my videos, I'm sure you realize that my stance on this is that friendships do not make teams. Friendships just make a group of good friends. Now, friends will do a lot for you, that's absolutely right, but they may not do that lot for you efficiently. Teamwork is about how you get people to collaborate so that they use their strengths and your weaknesses and combine to get a better product. And friendship helps, but it's not the entire story. Now, one of the things that I think requires thought when you're trying to build up a team is about the team's rules of conduct. How do people work together in order to collaborate efficiently? Now, rules of conduct sounds terrible, isn't it? Rules, but all it is a series of values and behavior lists about how, when you work together as a team, you will actually work together. Now, the reason why they're useful is because rules of conduct clarify expectations within the team. They clarify expectations about how people should behave and deliver their objectives. And it also creates a set of values that you can use. Now, we're not talking about interpersonal values, which are very personal things. Well, we're talking about how people behave with each other within a team context. So how do you create this rules of conduct for your team? I think the first thing you do is you start with a boilerplate rather than reinventing the wheel. If you Google rules of conduct, team rules of conduct or team rules, you get a lot of hits. Choose the one that most fits your situation and use that as the initial boilerplate. Now, I think what it needs to include are aspects to do with how you build respect, how you show respect, and how you build trust. It should deal with the conduct of meetings. How are meetings run? Who speaks? And what's the order of speaking? How do people make decisions and discuss things? It should deal with dissent. If people disagree, what are the channels for moving that disagreement along? Hopefully, it should also deal with innovation. If somebody has a bright idea, what do they do with it? Because very often, team collaboration dies down because somebody has a bright idea but doesn't know where it takes or isn't very confident it will be taken very far. Your boilerplate rules of conduct for your team should also include aspects to deal with how you provide feedback, what reporting mechanisms there are in the way your team operates. What I then do is use that boilerplate and start to personalize it for your team. An interesting way to do it, I think, is to have a team workshop and distribute the initial drafts and say, well, what do people think about these aspects, these characters of a team? There's a technique called the nominal group technique, where people discuss and throw up ideas, and they might write ideas on post-it notes and stick it up on a wall. And then what people do is they go along and they vote for the most appropriate ideas. And what you do is you might have 5 votes each person, and you can distribute your 5 votes any way you like to 5 ideas, or maybe 3 votes to 1 idea and 1 vote to 2 more ideas each. And that way you accumulate a sense of priority in these ideas. To start with that discussion, I think you start with questions like, how would you? So for example, you might have a few paragraphs that are dealing with how people show respect. And how, for example, people shouldn't talk over the top of each other. So you might start the question, look, how would you show respect within the team? And people come up with ideas on that principle. Once you've got a rules of conduct, and by the way, I think you should start off with more rules rather than less, because what you want to build up is practice. You want to be consistent about it. You want to walk the talk. So less rules at the beginning means less clarity. Provide the clarity and the expectations through your rules, and then gradually, as it becomes ingrained in culture, team culture or behavior, you can start dropping some of the more prescriptive rules and start to get into sets of behavior. I was going to say, once you've got your rules of conduct, you need to review those rules very regularly. at team meetings say, well, how's it working? Which ones are a problem? Which ones work? And what can we do to make it better? And ultimately, you end up with a focus on collaboration. So if there's any personal issues like, I don't like working in a tie, or I can't make it to team meetings at 9 o'clock because I have early morning emails or whatever. Those are the sorts of things that you can deal with either through the rules or personally by aligning behaviors to those rules. The important thing is to be consistent. The important thing is for everybody, especially the leader, to walk the talk. And as I say, start off with many rules and gradually reduce them as it becomes ingrained in team culture. Now, if you want to know more about building teams, if you want to know more about creating strategies and growing your business, get over to my website. There's a link below. I'd like you to click on it even, not clink, and give me your name and your email address, and I'll make sure that these systems and tools and step-by-step processes get delivered directly to your inbox for free.